under ordinances the way they are.
I have to look at it, but I'm pretty sure it's not allowed.
But they don't, do we have an ordinance
Because
about
it
number of
defeats the
families?
single
Yeah.
family type
Yeah, I
thing.
don't see.
Well, if it's a single-family home, only a single family is
Where is the
safe.
ordinance?
And there's some regulation in here about relation.
Oh, I didn't.
I got somebody on my street, they're renting out the top of their garage and repairing cars in the garage.
Wow.
I'm not perfect, I don't want anybody complaining about me, so I can complain about them.
I know it.
All right, are you ready? All right, we'll call the May 15th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for the city of Polk City to order. Roll call.
Dietz.
Here.
Triplett. Here. Hankins.
Here.
Vogel.
Here.
Bowersox.
Here.
Sires.
Here.
Hill.
Here. Item 3, approval of the agenda.
I make a
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 4, audience. Items not on the agenda can be discussed at this time. Are there any out there? Seeing none. Item 5, approval of the P&Z Commission meeting minutes for April 17th, 2017.
Make a motion to approve those minutes as written.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 6, consider motion to recommend council approve the final plat for Big Creek Technology Campus Plat 2.
I'm Gary Oliver. I'm a civil engineering consultant, 2496 Street in Des Moines. And I'm here on behalf of Knapp Properties, who is the applicant and the property owner. This is a final plat, which was represented to you as a preliminary plat last time. It was approved by your commission and likewise approved by city council. This is the final plat, which basically replicates the preliminary plat in that it extends the public street of Vista Lake Avenue to the east approximately 240 feet. It creates a 3-acre lot on the south side of the public street and then a 2-acre outlot on the north, which ultimately would be replatted at some point in time. This is served by public sanitary sewer, public water, obviously the public street. Staff has reviewed the application and comments have been addressed, and we'd be happy to answer questions.
Anything to add?
Now this is, I wish they were all this easy.
I guess I had, maybe it comes next. This is where the laundry's going in.
Yes, city laundry will.
Okay, should I ask
Got a
a
second.
question at the next? Yeah, never mind, I'll ask it at the next one.
And just of note, obviously they're going to be providing easements with this plat, and there are a couple easements that need to be vacated as we move forward. So I assume probably at the next council meeting, we set the date for the public hearing on those. There's a temporary ingress easement, which is where the existing gravel turnaround is, and there was another temporary, I guess that's the only one that would need to be vacated.
Will that be reinstalled then, or?
Yeah, it will go in. So we'll have the public hearing on it. We won't actually probably go through the third reading at council until the street's constructed and the new one's in place, and then we vacate it. But
Okay.
we'll figure out. We won't vacate it until at the very least, that it's gone for the true street construction. But
So what we're looking at here is just this plat, right? Well, I would make a motion that we recommend approval of the final plat, subject to the comments and recommendations of the city engineer, on a memo dated May 1, 2017.
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Hankins.
Yes.
Vogel,
Yes.
Bowersox,
Yes.
Sires,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Dietz, Triplett,
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 7, consider motion to recommend council approve site plan for city workplace uniforms. Anyone here to speak on this?
Hello, my name is Chris Warmont with Studio Melee Architects, 1312 Locust Street, Suite 100Z, Des Moines, Iowa, 50309. Today I'm here on behalf of Colin Wettloffer for City Laundering. Currently the building is proposed on the site that was street platted. It is going to be a 5,454 square foot laundry facility. It's primarily a distribution warehouse with a few offices on it. At this time, there is a proposed addition to the east side of it, which would basically double the facility future down the road if the laundering services do expand in this area. Right now, loading is going to be on the south side of the building. Primary entrance for the loading zone or loading areas are going to be on the west side of the site. And currently, there's 1 to 2 semi-truck deliveries per day scheduled, with 4 to 5 box truck delivery runs besides per day. As you can see in the exterior elevations, primary finishes on the building are going to be metal with about 30% brick. There will be some overhangs over the pedestrian entryways on the north as well as the west sides. And there will be some canopy coverings on the back and shields for loading dock entries. We have civil here as well, if you have any questions regarding site planning or any other items.
Sure. My name is Mike Murphy. I'm just mentioned I'm the civil engineer on the project. Work for the is located at 1001 Office Park Road in Des Moines. And if you have any questions about the site plan, I'm happy to address those.
Do we have any examples of like the metal panel? What's going on? Don't do that. Don't we normally want that?
See, nothing was submitted because the owner is working with New Core Buildings, a prefab building manufacturer right now. However, it will be out for bid, so various, manufacturers may be out there to choose from.
But it's a flat metal panel.
Yes, sir. It'll be a roots panel. The roof will be a standing seam metal. So I did print a few items off their websites today before I came in, just to give some examples. If you'd like to look through it and look. So the color scheme right now would be primarily a gray toned, lighter gray metal with some accent darker gray colors, and then the brick on the fronts would be like a burnished gray, black. There will be some accent colors on the canopy bandings, which is reflective of City Laundering's logo, which is a green band.
Red panel's fine with our ordinance, right?
Well, technically they're in the M1, so you don't really have any architectural design standards per se, at least certainly for brick requirements in this district.
There is a covenant on the property, which mandates 30% brick. And I think we're at 34. The east side of the building does not have any brick on it, just for future expansions into the metal. It would be more cost effective.
But the covenant doesn't say anything about metal panels.
Metal panels are acceptable.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Any kind of metal panel.
I would have to look.
No exceptions to metal panels.
No, sorry.
Okay, thanks.
One of the things with respect to that, I kind of asked the question because the way the building's designed, it's lower in the front and high in the back, which is a little bit different than what you're used to seeing. So we had them note that there would not be any mechanical units placed on there unless they had a parapet that was high enough to conceal them, because they would be visible from the public right away. I mean, there would be no way to conceal it without. So.
So right now, there is no mechanical plan for the rooftop other than a few plumbing penetrations. Everything will be ground mounted and screened per the city zoning ordinances. As far as the choice of roof slope to the north, that was, I guess, a design decision to keep the overall appearance of the building low to the ground, more towards the public entry form, and then still be able to achieve the truck loading dock clearances on the back.
I don't see anything wrong with that. It looks nice. As long as, like you said, just don't have a
Yeah, and they're
HVAC unit sticking up.
Right.
And then putting a parapet around that someplace up there would really be ugly.
Yeah, I mean, you'd almost have to have a full parapet along the whole building as opposed to just wrapping it around so that you're concealing the unit. But that is a code requirement, which is why, again, we asked them to repeat that on the site plan, too, so there's no.
And that would work with drainage, so.
Yeah.
Way to slope it.
Yeah, I mean, as I recall, and correct me, Mark, or Mike, if I'm wrong, is that there are gutters, along the front side of the building, and then they'll take it below ground.
So in this building, it's just
It's just
offices and basically a warehouse, is
Yes,
that it?
yeah.
Okay, so there's not actual laundry.
No laundering is going to be conducted at this time. The utilities have been sized, at least the plumbing, for future expansion. Since if they do expand, it's going to be the laundering side of it. But as part of the site plan submission, if laundering services do come to this area, we'll have to resubmit and get approval from P&Z and City Council.
Well, and even the phase 2 site plan, this will be approval for phase 1 only. Just, I guess, then you'll be able to verify that as the building's extended, it's got the brick per covenants and those kinds of things, so. I mean, they've laid it out, so I don't see.
What other, just for curiosity, we were thinking if you do expand to the laundering facilities, we're actually performing that activity here. Will that require some sort of environmental review and stuff for that, or?
It all depends on the amount of water used,
Okay.
the process used, that type of
I
thing.
see, okay.
And since our wastewater goes to Des Moines, we'll have to work with the WRA on that.
Okay.
There's probably some type of monitoring.
Not a concern now, but I was
Yeah,
just curious.
and that's just the way it's set up right now. They're going to be, they've got a 2-inch water line going into the building, but it will be reduced inside the building to a 1-inch meter. So that'll kind of control the flow in the interim. And we do have the note on there saying that they're responsible for getting all WRA approvals and that kind of thing before they ever. And we want to look at, too, depending on the quantity, if they need to cycle things so that so that it's not supercharging the sewer system all at the same time, so long as, depending on how it's laundered, we want to look at what those maximum peak flows would be. So.
And when I was reading through the notes and everything here, there was some comments, and I couldn't really figure it out here about like the waste, like the dumpsters and stuff. Where would those be? And they're re-shielded?
And the earlier site plans had them kind of in a temporary location.
Okay.
And so now they've actually moved them, and they're shown in a permanent location with a permanent trash enclosure.
Okay.
So those were.
Where's that? Oh, down. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, the owner elected to make it a permanent structure just in case the phase 2 addition never went through. We didn't want to have temporary conditions permanently. So.
All right.
And there is a detail of it in the site plan that shows it's a block wall with a screen gate. So.
Anyone in the audience with any comments, or?
I have one more.
Yes, sir.
Well, you gotta have an HVAC unit somewhere, right?
Yes, sir.
Is it on the site plan?
Yes. Right now, it's actually only a small condensing unit. Right up here.
Where is that?
It's going to
Hold
be.
that up.
Yep. It's going to be.
It's on the second page.
Go ahead and show it.
C10. It's going to be right up here.
Okay. Oh, that's
So right now,
condenser pad.
the condenser would have to sit across the drive, and the
Oh, I see.
mechanical is going to be up here in the northwest corner. Right now, it's the proposed mechanical system is going to be more of a residential, just to serve the office function, and then leave the warehouse unconditioned, just radiant heating use.
So,
for winter purposes.
and if there's the addition, then they'd have to be addressed again then at that time?
It more than likely will be located over here and have its own separate utilities, yes.
They do show landscaping around that.
Does that show on one of these plans?
On the landscaping plan, yeah. Yeah, I don't-
LA01.
LA? Oh, LA01, right there. Right there.
That's for the trash enclosure, and that's what you can put out here later.
No, yeah, I was just looking at trees. We just talked about trees, aren't those trees? Different.
That was my question. Thanks.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and make a motion to recommend to council approval of the site plan for city workplace uniforms, subject to completion of the city engineer's review comments and recommendations dated May 11th, 2017.
Second. Roll call?
Sires,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Deeks,
Yes.
Triplett,
Yes.
Pinkins,
Yes.
Vogel,
Yes.
Bowershoff.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Welcome to Polk City.
It's fine.
It's too late.
They could do it too late.
Wash them out.
Want clothes or something?
Oh, okay. Move this forward as quick as possible.
And maybe we'll get
I just felt these trees are so beautiful.
We'll be out.
on that petition.
Move on to item number 8. Consider a motion to recommend council approve the request from Wolf Creek Townhomes to waive the ADP requirement that 15% masonry be provided on elevations facing public streets. Anyone here speak to this item?
Speak up, Charlie.
I know we
know who you are.
I know you know why.
did have a document in the packet, but
I guess I represent, I live on 826 Wolf Creek Drive. My name's Kent Larson, and I was asked by some of our other people on our homeowners association to attend and see how this discussion went. We have not had a formal meeting as an association. We won't have it until June. So if we didn't go to a quorum of members to ask for a specific vote, so all we can do is, if needed, relate to you how some of the people living on Wolf Creek Drive and other areas within our townhome association. But I guess, we were I'm here because I am interested in what you think about this proposal and what the precedents, because I don't know what your precedent, and that is, and I don't think that at least my neighbors have an issue one way or the other, but we can provide some input because I don't know if you have a streets there or whatever, but I live on Wolf Creek Drive, and then there is East Trace Way, and because it says way at the back of it, that's not a city street. And then there's a series of lots that will be between East Trace Way and North 3rd Street. And that's really where I think Jamie's talking, the homes in that strip. And the backs of those, the fronts of all those will be in East Trace Way, but the backs all back up to North 3rd Street. which is your public street, which, according to, the 15% requirement. Now, if you drive by there, you'll see that those lots are going to be significantly lower than North 3rd Street. So you'll be looking down at the backs of these houses. Now, Jamie has built other houses within these properties. For example, there were 2 new ones, one just in the last month or two and another one last fall, that are the fronts on Wolf Creek Drive, but the back of them are on East Trace Way. And so those have no masonry on the back of them because that's, again, not a public street. So I'm not so sure from our membership, I talked to 3 or 4 people on just before this afternoon on Wolf Creek Drive there. Denny Trainer, Roger Hanson, Kent Larson, and Dale Barrett's the newest one, and Ron Fatka. So these are 5 houses that are pretty much just east of where the strip of houses would be going in. And I can't say we have any issue with not having masonry on the back. That's simply our own opinion, not certainly our association's opinion. But also, we understand that if there's precedence in Polk City that these properties should have masonry in the back of them, then that's what should be done. Certainly, we don't have that strong opinion one way or the other. But if you're looking for input from the closest neighbors, we don't think our property values would be impacted whether or not it has 15% masonry on the back of it. First of all, when you're driving north, you really have to look down into those backyards to actually see whether they have masonry or not. So I don't know if I'd be glad to take questions, but again, I can't speak for the whole development. I'm just speaking from 5 or 6 neighbors just west of what we're talking about.
I will say I did get 2 emails from citizens of Wolf Creek that strongly would recommend against releasing the requirements. So.
Okay.
So were those sent to staff, and are they entered into? They weren't in our packet.
They just came in
I
today.
just received them today, probably at about 3 o'clock, or about that time frame, maybe it was 2.
Could we state their names, addresses, and just general comments to get them in the minutes?
I know it was John Calhoun and
John Calhoun, and I don't remember
Al Burrows.
Yes.
were 2 that I remember seeing.
And they both had opinions that they did not want to see the ordinance passed, right? With at
They
least
did
like
not
that
want
reflected in the minutes.
PUD ordinance to be changed.
Thank you.
That requires the 15% against a public street.
Is a representative here from?
No.
I mean, to me, that says a lot.
Sir, I don't see one.
Yeah, I'll second that. My first observation too. Right. I don't care not to even come.
And their argument that they have a nice tree buffer.
Yeah.
Trees aren't really filling in enough to buff anything.
And it looks like they've been there a while, so it isn't like they're new trees.
Because I do this also because I saw the emails that you're discussing. About half of those trees on the tree line are now gone because they've been removed. So one of the emails suggested that, at the very least then, if that was to be visual barriers to the backs of these, then at least the developer should be putting those trees back in that were removed and maintain that tree line at least, until, as the declarant of that property until he's done, which is probably a long time because basically he has to sell all the lots and there's a lot of lots.
Right.
So,
I would suggest that we not take any action because you can volunteer to speak for Civil Design Advantage and the folks that have it. I would just table this.
I would agree.
I think one of the things we've talked about a lot too is how our town looks as people come in. And this would be the traffic from the north. And it's a very nice development now. And we don't want to take it down a few notches.
And I've gotten comments on other areas that are the perceived gateways that people don't want to see that happen. So.
Yeah, so I think that's what I think is the most important thing, is that it's the gateway from the north into our town. And it's very nice looking now, and we don't want to dumb it down.
I would agree. Yeah, that's true, but if you drive down Parker, you see the backs of all the houses along there.
Yes.
In one case, it's a nice berm on one side of it.
Yes.
But as you get closer down the Ridge Road, there's a little bit there, but we still see the backs of everybody's houses. Mm-hmm. This statement in here about driving by at 35 miles an hour, you're only going to see roofs, that's totally false. Yeah. I mean, I drove 25. And, man, I could see the ditch. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Going behind it. So I think we ought to vote on it and just get it over with, because this is just delaying the inevitable. I don't think anybody's really in big favor of saying yes to this, and then, to me, they don't even care to show up. I changed my vote on a housing development because one time the neighbors came in and they were all upset about it, and then when it came back after they talked to the neighbors, no neighbors showed up, so I guess they're okay with it. So I'd like to go ahead and vote on it and get over with, but I understand your comment. There's nobody here to represent it, but they had the choice to be here.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. If we don't,
And it's inevitable.
Probably, I think so.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to make a motion. I would make a motion that we do not recommend to council the request from Wolf Creek Townhomes to waive the ADP requirement of 15% maintenance be provided on elevations facing public streets. So again, that motion was to not recommend that to council for approval.
Second.
roll call?
Triplett?
I am in favor of that motion, yes.
Hankins?
Yes.
Vogel?
Yes.
Bowers Hawk?
Yes.
Sires?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Deeks?
Yes.
All right. Item number 9, council liaison reports.
Yes, thank you. I think that work session before, don't leave, it's going to get good.
Thank you.
I think we're off to a good start. It's a step in the right direction. I think now we need to keep that ball rolling. And by Ron's comments, I think you agree. And in order to keep that ball rolling, we got to kick it every once in a while, or it's going to stop. So we got to keep things going, and no matter how it comes out, we got to come to a final on it. And thank you for your recent vote. Spend a lot of time, you guys, us guys, steering committees ever putting ordinances in effect. Once they're in effect, I don't think we should waive them. It's just going to come, it's going to have repercussions to come back and haunt you down the way. So thank you. That's all I have.
All right, thank you.
We appreciate the council's support on what we do here too. That's real important.
Yes, it is.
Item
But
10,
what you do, I mean, that's what's important.
staff report.
I only have one thing, Mr. Chair. And as you know, the governor signed the fireworks bill. There's basically 3 parts to this bill. One of the parts deals with the definition now of fireworks. The second part deals with are you going to sell them or are you not? Or are you going to light them or are you not? Or are you going to allow people to detonate them? And the third part is you must allow sales of fireworks.
to do the sales part of it, that would take a zoning change, public hearing, etc. Council is having a meeting with their city attorney at the next council meeting, and we're going to discuss this. First thing I know what we're going to have to do is turn around and get an ordinance in place where our definition of fireworks is the same as the state. Don't think that's going to be too hard. From there on out, may be more difficult. And as you think about this, where would you like them sold? I personally have a problem with temporary stands out of the back of pickups on the city square at the corner of whatever gas station where they're here today and gone tomorrow. Really have some issues with a lot of that stuff. Brick and mortar, I don't have the issues. But council will be listening to the more in-depth version of this from our city attorney. If you do have thoughts on the zoning side of the house and or the detonation, please let your council people know.
That is going to be a challenge because I grew up out in Kansas where we had the sales of fireworks. Like the Boy Scouts, it was a big sales thing for them was selling fireworks. So, the local Boy Scout troop would have their temporary stand to sell fireworks. So I think it's going to be a challenge how to deal with that. So
It's going to be another challenge is, let's just say, for instance, Polk City says fireworks. Polk County says no fireworks. So you literally run across Highway 415, light them off, run back and watch them go. You didn't bring any laws in.
yeah, that's going to be.
It's going to make very interesting, no matter which way this goes. It's going to be very interesting.
Well, I hope the council votes to say no fireworks. I think they're dangerous. They scare the hell out of me and my dog. And they shoot them in your yard.
Right now.
They do it anyway, even if they aren't legal.
Well, I started researching this problem. Nobody's beating my door down to allow fireworks in Polk City.
Okay. Anything else on that topic? All right. Thank you for that, Gary. Commissioner report?
I would encourage as many of you as possible to attend a city council work session on safe streets. I'm Polk City's representative to the MPO Technical Committee, and that's a big thing there at the MPO right now, are safe streets. We try to accommodate, pedestrians, bicyclists, and vehicles all in the same areas. And so it's a really interesting discussion on this stuff, and I think it'd be very good to get that information if you can make it.
And when is that?
It's on
June 12th, 5:30.
12th at 5:30.
5:30.
Correct.
Have we seen it? There should be a meeting invite.
Okay. So check that.
I have a question before we adjourn. How did the meeting last Wednesday go on
Davis Street.
Davis Street?
I was not able to make it. Mike was there, and he said it was a very smooth meeting, a lot of information. Most of the items that people were concerned about was drainage, and Snyder had a good drainage plan put together. The other was during construction, traffic in and out, and they had addressed that. People seem to be very happy.
Kind of what I heard too. Good.
Anything else from anybody up here? favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
But I look at the clock and my, still have to pick up my dog.
What about